What's happening? How you guys doing? Hey Otis, how you doing? You go by Q? Yeah, man, that's what's up, bro. How you doing, man? Thanks for hanging out. Just sit back, relax. It's all good. It's all good. So yeah. We didn't go live yet, right? Yeah, we live?
We're live. Let's go ahead and
Okay,
do
that's what's up. How you guys doing? Funk Music with Zack. How's everything? How's everything going? I didn't see you point, Mark. I'm sorry. I'm a little tired. Hanging out with us today. We got some incredible guests. First of all, we got Miss Star Colors from Cosmic Nation Productions out in California. She's been a veteran rock bassist. Started doing some stuff early on with the none other master Purple Majesty Prince, and also, obviously P-Funk veteran bassist, the only female to actually do that and make that work. The beautiful woman that she is. She's in Cali right now, but she's been gracious enough to come on and hang out with us for a little while. So Star's going to be on in a bit, and she's going to just hang out and kick a little bit about her new project and where it can be found. And, if we're lucky, maybe she'll give us a cut. And that's beautiful. Thank you, Star, for that. And I know you're doing some stuff, getting it together in a minute. Again, welcome to Funk Music with Zack. Today's show is going to be a little different. Normally I have, a lot of music going on, but today we're going to get into a few things and just talk about some stuff that needs to be talked about, and, make it work like that. And the next week we'll be back to our regular format of just some serious straight music and jamming. Love you guys out there. If it's your birthday today, happy birthday. If you have an anniversary or you with someone special, make sure you hold on to that person and tell them you love them right now. Give them a big hug and tell them you love them. That's very important. And if you lost someone due to COVID, or if you just had a loss in your family, I'm very sorry, and my condolences to you as we continue to fight. Wear your mask, hand sanitizer. You guys know the drill. We ain't gonna beat a dead horse to death. I did want to give a special shout out to my man, Gordon Thomas, out in Strong Island. My big brother, he recently lost his mom, and she was the matriarch of the family. So Gordon, this show, little piece of me is with you over there, and you and your family. I'm actually from Bayshore, Long Island, so I'm always going to rep and be proud of where I'm from. And today, like I said, we're going to kick it. Second half of the show, we got something really special. We're going to have Miss Donna Sneed on, with my brother Q out of Atlanta, and we're going to talk about benevolent funk. We're going to get into a little bit of the afterglow. I'm going to tell you what that is, and we're going to do some information about Maggie M's Funky Corner Store. Now, check it out. This interview that we're going to do with Donna and Q, this is going to be the first part of a 3-part series, because we got so much to chop it up about, so much to talk about. We're going to have to spread it out over a period of time over the month of August, and then, we're going to kick it like we kick it, talk about some things, but bring a lot of attention to, something that, benevolent funk, AKA, you know what I'm saying, Donna Sneed wants to do and talk about Boogie Munson and all the good things he did. And, Mikey P might be coming back on, and we'll be talking about that. So we're going to make sure that we keep you popping, keep you entertained, positive affirmation. Forgive me, I'm not quite as uplifted as I normally would be, because I was up late, working on some tracks. So I didn't really go to sleep until the sun came up. And then, I'm back up again. But, I got all that funk energy that I need. So don't worry about it. It's all good. And like I said, welcome IBM.TV family all around the world, all over in India, Australia, Germany, Japan, China, Asia. All the countries around the world are checking this out right now. Again, you're with me, Zack Robinson, a.k.a. number 9, and this is Funk Music with Zack. So what we want to get into today, as, we're hanging out waiting for Star and, making sure that she's getting her things set up, we're going to get into a lot of things that the country's actually going through. And I'm going to sit and just, give you about 2 minutes of my personal feelings about that. And I really, really, really want everybody to really listen closely. We have to start loving each other. We have to start caring about what we are doing with each other and helping each other grow. That's the whole purpose of planting a seed, is to help each other grow. And we have to water each other's flowers and make sure that everybody can thrive. It's a very, very hostile, rough environment out there for everyone. So we are Just give me 1 second. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. Yes, I was checking my phone. You know, messages, technology. Hey, you got to do it. Yes, but we want to plant good seeds, and we want to make everybody, you know, spread out, spread their wings, and fly. And if you have someone in your family or somebody that you know that's working on something, specifically when we're talking about the funk thing, make sure you support them. We need to go online, and everybody right now, money's tight, but we need to try to help each other when it comes to independent artists. There's so many independent funky artists out there that's trying to make this whole music thing work. There's so many independent music artists out there that's continuing to try to make this thing work. So we all have to try to uplift and support each other. It's not always about giving money or giving your time. Sometimes just a quick shout out on Facebook or just a quick shout out to somebody to say, hey, I like what you're doing. You know, a lot of times that's all it takes to inspire someone to push a little bit further, because that's what we're trying to do. Also, without the DJs out there, you know, JTRP, Keith Jackson, Brenda Robinson, Honeybee, I love you guys. Gangsterville Radio, my man over there, Steady Groove, my favorite girl, Tanny Soul Sister, pushing it up for you. My boy down in Texas, Philly Phil, get on the funk bus. And all the DJs around the world that continue to spin funk and make it happen for us, yo, we love you for that. And we can't do it without airplay, especially as independent artists. And mad shouts out to the Nappy Head Funk Army, my crew holding me down back up there in New York, New Jersey, Philly, Dilly, and all that good stuff. So we're sitting here chilling right now. And today's show is going to be a little different, but it's all good because we got a lot of great information that we're going to talk about and we're going to make happen. And as we continue to fly and grow, we're going to make sure that everyone can actually, you know, thrive in this environment. Stay safe. Got to be smart. If you're going to the protest, that's all good, but we don't need to go to anything that's going to be destructive and tear things up. We got enough problems. The country basically right now has to be exhausted. Me as an individual, I know I'm basically exhausted just from all the stress and pressure. Music is what brings some of that good feeling and positive energy to us. That's why right now, every musician out there, continue to do what you do. Continue to try to get it out online, social media. Continue to try to make it pop. You know, you never know what's going to happen. And people need what we do as artists right now. Always the people behind the scenes. I got to shout out David Brooks. I love you. Mark, I love you. You know, the photographer and, you know, graphic designer, my man Curtis Wilcox. Man, you off the hook. I love you for that, you know, and everyone that has been involved with the Nappy Head Funk Army Project. Miss Pat Dioria, I love you for that as well. Thank you for always keeping us looking funky. So here we are, checking out, just chilling. What's up, Mark? How you doing,
Not
bro?
much. You got some amazing guests. I just want to know who you wanted to bring on first, Mr. Michael Brown, or whether you want to bring on Q and Donna Sneed first. So, you know, like I said, we're just rolling with the show. You dropping some serious knowledge and letting folks know that no matter what's going on in the world, we have to stay focused on our goals and things of that nature. So, as always, I'm enjoying this knowledge that you're dropping, but just wanted to know, as the producer, what order you want these folks to pop on in here, because I'm going to pop on out of here and bring them in the way you want them.
Yeah, I'm waiting on Star to get on because she's on the West Coast. She's in California, and I had her actually scheduled first. I had mentioned to Donna what time they were going to come on a little bit after that. But, you know, we'll just hang out another second. I just texted her, and like I said, West Coast connection sometimes, and you know this yourself, sometimes by the time they get to us, it's a few minutes after. But we got a little bit of time. You know, I hope you don't mind if we go over a little bit today because we do have a lot of things to say. But I know I got a lot of guests in the queue and in the green room. I can feel them. I can feel Donna over there. I can feel Q over there. They sending me texts right now telling me who they want to be calling, what kind of names. So yeah, we all good. I'm getting all the nicknames down and everything else. I can feel them over there. That's how the funk rolls. Sometimes when the mothership comes in, she comes in like she needs to come in. You know what I mean? So it's all good. Here you are on IBM.TV, Funk Music with Zack right now. And we're just chilling in the house. Get Down Brown. That's really cool. I like that name. Get Down Brown. And we got my man Q in the house as well from the ATL. Just tell them to sit tight. I'll send them a message. Let them know. I'm sure they can hear, see, whatever. Let them know, hey, just sit tight for a minute. We'll hang out for another minute for Star, you know. But what do you think, Mark, about COVID and how it's affecting the way funk music is not really being played, but how we're going to have to go forward as far as taking care of, the artists and making sure that they can get paid since everything is virtual now.
Yeah, I mean that's the main thing. It's gone virtual, and that's where the catch is folks trying to figure out the pay scale for this whole virtual concert kind of model that we're in. I have seen that a number of concert folks. I know you've talked about the country and music folks, but I've also seen it in blues. I've even seen some funk artists. I've seen some R&B artists that are starting to look at the drive-in kind of model of doing concerts as well, and that might be what we see in terms of a lot more of the outside concerts, particularly during these months when we're in the summer months and things of that nature, even in the early fall in a lot of places, because you can do that. But like I said, and still stay within the constraints of what the government and everybody else would like us to do in terms of trying to stay healthy and things of that nature, because you can do that. Because I've heard that they've been doing like carloads of folks, so they'll keep the folks separate by the cars and the cars being a certain distance from each other, but then they'll bring them in carloads. So that's something that can be done. And the promoters and things of that nature, as I've done a little work in that field, are making money that way. Then yes, I think that they definitely must pay the artists. I mean, that's mandatory that the artists get paid and things of that nature. As you know, my dad is a visual artist, and one of the things he's always telling me is that, and I know this is something that you're a big proponent of as well, is that he gets tired of being asked to do things for just the fun of it and just because of exposure. My dad is 80. He's well past exposure. You're well past exposure age. You've been in the game for a while. So anytime folks talk about let's do a concert for exposure or to get your name out, y'all have both been in the game for a number of years in different realms, but still in the game. And y'all don't want to hear that kind of conversation. It's time for artists to get paid.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because basically, a lot of times, people see artists, street performers, artists. It doesn't matter if you're playing in a small little venue, a club. It doesn't matter if you're playing, at Madison Square Garden. You can't walk into McDonald's or Burger King, or you can't go get gas for free, or you can't go into a restaurant and say, hey, I want a free meal. You know what I'm saying? People, they automatically assume that when they see an artist, right, on stage doing something, and even those that visually paint and everything else, they only see the finished product. But they never see what goes into that. They don't see how many hours you stay up late at night rehearsing, maybe just to get one thing correct like you really, really want it before you present it to the people. They definitely don't understand the travel, and they don't understand the wear and tear on your body. I can definitely tell you personally, and you know me personally, I've had 9 surgeries. The wear and tear on your body is brutal. When musicians get sick and they have a gig booked, they still have to go play that gig. I've done gigs with 102 fevers. I've done gigs with stomach viruses. I've done gigs with colds and coughs where I could barely even open my mouth and sing. So you got to push through a lot of that. Just like everybody on their job, you got to push through it. But the difference is people see that and they're like, oh, you can do this for X amount. You can do this for free. And it really isn't fair to a musician. And my friend, Prez, right?
Yeah.
He came on a couple of weeks ago. He told me something that was really cool, right? We were talking about that, and he's like, yeah, he said the very first musician, and I don't know if it was Gabriel, I don't know who it was, when he played for free, he ruined it for the rest of us. Whoever the first musician back in Africa playing the lyre thing that they called it, the little harp thing, whatever, whoever it was, if it was Gabriel blowing his trumpet, whoever did that first gig for free ruined it for everybody else. And that's the way he told it to me. And I'll never forget that, because I thought that was like really profound. It's funny because, yes, we are human beings. Our job is to play music. And again, it's a business, the music business. So the art of the music business, and I know Q's going to come on and we're going to kick this in another segment about the music business, because I'm going to pick his brain, the brother I just met, but the art of the music business is to, yes, enlighten, give your gift away. But at some point, you still have to eat. You have to take care of your family. You know, you got to carry around crew, road crews, productions. You got to make sure everybody's in the right spot. There's a lot that goes into it. You got to pay a manager if you got one. You got to pay a booking agent if you got one. You got to pay a publicist if you got one. And now with social media popping off like it is, you got to try to find the best of all worlds and blend all that together. And again, like I said, you know, I was up until 5:30 this morning, you know, just working on one track, one song. You know, and then when I'm ready to put that song out, I can't equate how much time I put into it for what I should get paid, but I shouldn't have to do it for free. You know what I mean?
I agree. You shouldn't have to do it for free.
Every musician. And that's a good subject. We're going to have a show on this very thing one day, just about that. And I don't really see it as total exploitation because we volunteer to do this stuff, right? We want to do it. That's what we do. But at the same time, a lot of people have taken advantage of that over the years, you know, and it doesn't matter what kind of act you have. You can have a huge act, small act, doesn't matter. There's somebody somewhere. And you guys, young people out there in the game, you guys got to be careful because you got to understand there are people out there that do and will try to take advantage of what you have if you're just giving everything away. So I get it. I tell all my guests, listen, I understand you preach it to the choir, you know, and I'm glad you mentioned that. You came up with a lot of blues around you. You're a blues guy.
Yeah,
and a lot of guys, man, they got paid nothing and they basically, you know, didn't have anything. So, you know, and it's sad, you know, it's sad, man.
And some of them are still struggling. I mean, are some organizations out there that are dealing with blues musicians, and they're trying to find ways to help them with everything. And this was before COVID, everything from rent to housing to electricity to the very basic needs that they have. And, you know, you're right. It's sad that these are some of the masters that are out there that are now well into their late years and things of that nature and should be, you know, honored, but not just by the folks in their industry, the blues industry, part of the music industry, but also by many musicians around the world, because, you know, blues, jazz, and a lot of other styles are the backbones of a lot of different styles of music. So definitely they are not getting the kind of honor that they need, and they've got different organizations that are trying to help them and things of that nature. And you're so right about it not just being the musicians. Like I said, my dad is an artist, but one of my guests on the show that I do was a magician. And, you know, he does the whole magic thing. And he was saying that even they do not necessarily get the respect that they need and things of that nature. So I don't care whether you're a comedian, a magician, a musician, or anybody in the cultural realm. So many of us don't get that kind of respect that we deserve. And I agree, at some point we're just gonna have, and you know, you come up with some of the folks, I'll come up with some folks. I'm sure Angus got some people, and Alexandria. We're just gonna have to chop it up just about what it looks like in the entertainment industry, because, you know, there's all kinds of things just wrong in the entertainment industry. And that's one of the things that IBM.TV is trying to do, is create a platform for folks to showcase their talents and do things of that nature so they can actually get out there. So that's one of the positive things we're doing, is we're definitely trying to be about unity, but also getting folks out there that are getting some exposure. I know you've brought a lot of folks, including some legends out of the folk music world, in terms of who they are known, and even in the hip hop world. I caught your show yesterday and everything, and definitely you brought in some folks that were tied in to the industry on a lot of different levels, and particularly those that are pioneers. And, you know, some of them aren't even recognized as pioneers, even though they were pioneers. Those stories that Eric was telling about being at the forefront of hip hop were amazing stories that you shared with folks on your show on yesterday. So like I said, I'm looking forward to some interesting conversations here as well. You always have amazing guests, and you just do a great job. So I'm just trying to do my little part, but definitely wanted to
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. We're gonna hang out for like another 2 minutes, and maybe Stars have some difficulties, but we're going to keep everything moving. You know how we do. I got something really exciting that the people are definitely going to be into when I bring on Donna and Q, and Donna's AKA name is Benevolent Funk. You know, and I really, really like that. Just the word benevolent is very peaceful. And we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. So, I'm going to hang out for another second, and, just let people know right now you're hanging out with Funk Music with Zack. on IBM.TV, and we're going to be chopping it up like we always chop it up and kick it. And, my producer back there, Mark, is hanging out, and we're just going to make this thing go like we always do. You can always find us on IBM.TV website. You can go to YouTube. You can check us out on Facebook. We all have it on all our pages. And don't forget, check out the Dollar Store on IBM.TV, because the Dollar Store offers the same things that the Dollar Store out in the public offers, but you can shop online on our website at the Dollar Store and buy the same products. You can get some free gift tokens as well. You don't have to worry about going out into the public, sweating the mask. You don't have to worry about, spending money on gas that you may or may not have. I don't know anybody's situation, but it's always available. There's plenty of things that we have on our network. We have things about suicide prevention. We have things on peace and love. We have things on business. Mark does his own show, and he has this thing popping, and he's always politically, involved with the world, and especially right here in our community in Durham, North Carolina. So there's a lot of things, going on. Celebrity Tuesday going on, and we're bringing on more and more new shows, more and more new things. One of my guests 2 weeks ago, my funky brother Prez, he's getting ready to start his own thing. My other guest that I had from last month, Tish Oakley, she started her new thing, Earth Monkey Energies. So there's plenty of opportunities here on IBM.TV. Please go to the website, check out the Dollar Store, and please, I want to thank all our sponsors for making sure that this can happen and making sure it's really, really cool. So this is what we're going to do. Maybe start
in real quick. I just want to make this one quick comment.
We love you. We're going to keep the pushing. What you say?
I'm just going to cut in real quick, just to let you know that Tish's show was really amazing yesterday as well. She actually had a conversation with the millennials. So that was talking to some of our young people that are like in that 20 set. So it was really interesting getting their viewpoints on what's going on in the world. Because like I said, we're definitely getting up there in age. So it's interesting hearing some of that youth perspective. And it was some young ladies that were on there with Tish, and they were sharing their perspective. And, I just happened, because I don't always catch the shows that we have on until after I go on our website as well. And I just saw that this morning, one of our folks that are a producer, I believe out of India, they actually did a special on something that I know is probably dear to many of our fans and many of the folks that watch IBM.TV. I know they've done stuff on suicide, but they actually did a special this morning on child abuse. And we do know that that is a very important issue in society. Totally. So that was done. And like I said, it was done by one of our Indian producers. So I'm sure it focused on what was going on in that situation there in Asia. But, it's something that does impact the world around us. So definitely when I saw that, I got to go back and check it out.
Cool. And I was just doing this because I was going to say, that's what I do when you guys see me out there in the audience doing this. It just means going around the world. And everything we do goes around the world. So, we're going to make sure that some of the things that Mark just mentioned, you guys have an outlet. You can always come on this site and reach one of us if ever there's any issues you may have, because that's something that I'm very, very near and dear to, is the mental health issue. But without further ado, let's bring on the people we got back, and we're going to get them in on time, and we're going to go ahead and kick it. So let's kick it like we kick it on Funk Music with Zack. Right now, here we go.
What's going on?
Oh, you know it.
What's going on?
You know it.
What's happening?
What's up? Hey, Donna, what's going on, baby?
What up? I got my phone fan back here. Hey,
what's up?
I got to bring it on with some funk. Hello to all my peeps out there. I'm going to start with Donna and just go around and introduce everybody before I bring you guys officially on, because I got to know who's who. And thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate you. We got time. We're going to make sure you get all your thoughts in. Again, IBM.TV right here, Sunday. Funk Music with Zack. This is the first of a 3-part series. So for everybody out there that's listening and just wants to hang out with us, we're going to have these folks on in 3 different segments, maybe even 4. You know what I mean? So Donna, tell us, hello, who's who? Who we got?
Hey, you. What's going on? Well, this wonderful lady sitting behind me is my daughter, who gave me the name Benevolent Funk. Her name is Lisa.
Love it. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Well, Pew, you already know. So that's my partner. See, Benevolent Funk and Afterglow are one. So Benevolent Funk are me, him, and her.
Okay.
So there he is. That's
Okay.
Otis Park.
Okay.
That's my partner.
Cute. Now, Michael, who you got up top over there? Because you on the top like the Hollywood square. So you on that top square over there. Who you got over there, my brother?
I got Margot Sings right here, my lead vocalist for Next Exit. I got Ron Rio Rivers, he's the drummer for Next Exit.
Loving it.
And he also sang Keepers of the Funk. He's the song Keepers of the Funk. He did his thing on that. And I'm Mike Get Down Brown. I'm a guitar player. You know.
I love that.
Love that name, man.
I love that. Y'all brought the whole squad.
Get Down Brown.
There you go. The one good thing about IBM.TV, we can have a multitude of guests on at the same time, you know, and that's the beautiful thing about spreading peace and love that all you guys are doing. And we got time to chop it up. We got one of your newer tracks, Keepers. You know, we got that all queued up, and we're going to kick that whenever, you know, we talk a little bit. But Donna, I'm going to start with you. You're a beautiful, wonderful, spiritual, entrepreneurship type woman in the funk. And it's so great to have you on. And all you ladies, and there's no slight against the gentlemen, representing the women and what you guys always did, have been doing, and getting everybody's back. And for that, I praise you. I have 2 daughters. I want to thank you. You're one of the pioneering ladies of this thing. So tell us a little bit about, we were talking about Afterglow.
Yes.
Right? We were talking about Afterglow.
Look, Otis, he's still going.
Now my Afterglow don't glow.
We got you. We got you, Zach. We got you.
It don't glow, but I'm not taking it off, ever.
Don't plug it in, bro. Don't plug it in.
So Afterglow 92416, that's very significant. And tell us a little bit about that. I'm gonna let Donna and Q kind of touch on that a little bit. Y'all can kind of bounce it back and forth. Donna, you can go first, sweetie.
Okay, so Afterglow 92416 is actually not a zip code. It's a date that we did our first event. Honoring Boogie and the fallen funk heroes. And it was just crazy because Otis is a lifetime friend of Boogie's.
Yeah.
And he knew my struggle, but, you know, he promised Boogie he was going to look out for the family. And he knew I wanted to do something. So he called me and he was like, yo, you want to do an event? I was like, yep. He said, okay, so we have the venue. And I was like, what? And all you got to do is get a band. I was like, who? And that was the beginning. I had met some musicians in Plainfield. Tiger Nelson, Nat Sarah Lamba will always be my featured artists because they started out with us. And the drummer backed out at the last minute, and these guys came anyway without a drum. And got here, and Big Funk Rob, you know, like stepped in and take it from there.
Yeah.
Well, that was something. That was something. I'm gonna go back just a minute too. I'm gonna kind of embellish that whole 92416 thing because you know, we were in a time at that point where, you know, we were losing a lot of mugs. You know, a lot of mugs in the funk business and particularly that been on the road, you know, where we'd all had come from. And so in addition to that being, this was a ceremonial kind of event that we did in Chocolate City. And in addition to it being, you know, the day that we did our event, the symbolism of the 92416 also, hence the name Afterglow. All right. It is also the fact that some of our fallen heroes never got to see the mothership go into the Smithsonian. The mothership went into the Smithsonian on the same day, 92416.
Wow.
Right? And so we took that also, and we said, look, let's try to honor our fallen heroes as much as we possibly can. Let's not forget about this genre. We know the industry kind of says we kind of like quasi or whatever, you're not a real thing or whatever. Okay. But look how long it took.
Yeah, I know.
For these ladies and these gentlemen, okay, to become rock and roll Hall of Famers, to get inducted.
Yep.
Okay. And to get what we know is their props.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is also a symbol of what that number means. And no, it is not a zip code.
and you know, it's not by accident. I'm sure the universe set it up that way that happened. Because we've talked on the phone, Don and Q, and it's not by accident. Yesterday I was telling you about the numerology thing, right? And it's not by accident because it's very powerful. Like we all felt in New York when people got into the Hall of Fame. We all went in, you know, as fans. So Donna, as you got this thing going and you had this thought in your head and your idea and everything, and again, you know, I never used the after term because Boogie and Gary and Glenn, they still all live with us, you know. You had an amazing vision. And tell me what it feels like to actually see now your vision come to fruition. And now we have all these other great things that we're going to talk about that you're doing. It all started from this idea in your head. After you went to Q, and then he did what he did. How does it make you feel? Do you? And I know Boogie's smiling because I can feel him right now.
You gotta be
passing the torch, the legacy. How did that make you feel inside?
It's overwhelming.
Happy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Hey, believe me, don't worry. I cry tears of joy all the time. You ain't got to be worried about nothing because we got your back. You family over here. You know what I'm saying? You family. And one thing about Funketeers, we've always been family. No matter who we know, no matter where you are around the world. If the whole world was full of Funketeers, there'd be no war and violence. You know?
Right.
So Mike Brown, up top, right, brother, tell me a little bit about your involvement with Donna and with Q. And how you kind of fit into the picture a little bit before we move on a little bit.
I'm gonna let Donna explain how that all happened.
All right, Benevolent, bring us in.
Okay, this is just a true blessing. So we had a friend, we still have a friend, Jimmy Cirillo, who we'll talk about him a little later on. But we did a kind of an opening to one of his songs at Mike's studio, me and Linda Scheider. Now, I never met these guys before, and we just clicked. I don't know. Yeah. We just kind of clicked, and they're from the DMV, so that's where I'm from. Mm-hmm. So I always wanted to go home. I wanted to, you know, to bring some home back into this because Boogie and I lived in DC too, you know. Right. So when I got to his studio, I just felt at home. And I just felt that this was where I wanted to start my music journey as far as studio and getting the music out there, producing, because they are amazing. If I can just say that I never had a performing band before, but next exit will be Benevolent Funk's performing band.
I love that. And, you know, and that's a beautiful thing that you're doing. And it flows, you know. Next exit. Okay. And I can't wait to have some music, and you guys can actually come on this Sunday show and do some unplugged open mic jamming stuff if you like.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah, that's what we do on Sunday. You know, today's a little different because we, you know, focusing on the foundation. But yeah, man, that's what we do on Sundays. Chop it up. I'm gonna have all you guys back plenty of times, and this is just the first of many. Here we are right now. You know, Funk Music with Zack on IBM.TV around the world, YouTube. I'd like to welcome all my special guests, Benevolent Funk, Donna Sneed, Q, and Michael Brown and his posse back there, you know, making things happen. So as we move on,
let's go ahead and mention next exit.
Next exit. All right, next exit. I'm computing it. Next exit. I got it. Got it. Next exit. So Donna, as all these great musicians found out about your project, just name some of the people that were involved that started coming on board to offer their love.
Okay, so first and foremost, Michael B. Patterson, Mike P.
Yes.
I always knew at one of our events that I told you about, a Toast to the Boogie, that Mike was in it for life. It was just something we connected, and I just knew that Boogie spirit stays with him. Yeah. So I decided that I wanted to do something reminiscent of We Are the World. Mm-hmm. I wanted to do like we Here We Are the Funk.
Yes.
And so many artists started hitting up. And so I called Mike. I said, yo, Mike P, not knowing anything about what goes on in the studio, Mike Brown can attest to that. So I said, Mike P, listen, I need a song. I need a track that we can add all these musicians to. He was like, okay, Ma, I got you. Mm-hmm. So in about 2 or 3 weeks, he came back and gave me an album.
Wow.
Yeah. So then what we decided, what I wanted to do was a single, which is Keepers of the Funk. And all of these amazing musicians like Cujo Goody, Blackbird McKnight, Skeets out of Baltimore, the bass player Rodney, God, who else? So many people, Garrett, Nate Turley, Deshaun Alexander, Otis.
The heavies.
We took all of these musicians and put them on the album, which will be coming out on Boogie's birthday. So let me just say this. Mm-hmm. Keepers was the first song, okay? So I was so impressed with Next Exit, because I follow them. I listen to their music. Margot is just, I can't even explain to you what an amazing person she is.
I know she laying in the cut, but I can tell she's a killer.
She's a beast. She's not a killer, she's a beast. Okay.
Oh, really?
With what you do.
Yes, that's what I meant. Music term.
What we did with that song, I called Mike because I wanted them in with it, and you guys will hear when you do that snippet of Keepers. So then basically what this is the Boogie Train. Curtis Wilcox drew the picture. It looks like the Soul Train, and all the artists are the passengers.
Right.
So the Boogie Train Volume 1, Keepers remix, remember this is a remix, okay, will be out first.
Okay.
Then we're going to work on Slim Goody with Jimmy Smith, because he was another friend of Boogie's and Otis's, But then we're going to hit y'all with the Slam Dunk.
Cool. That works. Before we get into the track, and again, here we are with my whole funk crew from up top, Benevolent Funk, Donna Sneed, and Michael Brown and Q. On IBM.TV, here we are, Funk Music with Zack. Q, I wanted to ask you, your relationship with Boogie obviously goes way, way back, right? Man. Besides the music and the funk, tell us a little bit about how you still carry his energy inside you and what that man actually meant to you.
Man, that's a loaded question, man.
Yeah, it is.
That's a loaded question.
And you got time.
I can go so many different ways, but I think with the folks that we have on here, I'm gonna take it in this route. As a musician to a musician, he was my teacher.
Right.
We started off, I was 7 years old, 8 years old playing in the church. And if you know, most of us usually get started in the church. Now we started in a church where we played the same song, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours straight. That's one song, bro. One song. Where I'm going with that, think of the dexterity, okay? Think of the dexterity and think of all of the strength that you build up doing that for I don't know how many years.
That's right.
Okay? 1 and 2 songs. That's your church service.
Yeah.
But it's 2 hours long you playing. And then you get mugs today that can't do a 30-minute show without, hey, like I need to take a break.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So it came from there. And it kind of went on. But I'm going to tell you the funny story, really, as I bring this thing forward, is that, Boog always, I don't think there's probably a musician that we talk to that can't attest to this one thing about Boog that we all loved, but we hated it too, And it's like Boog would come in, Boog, you doing your rehearsal, right? And you playing, you got it. And Boog would just come in, he'd be like, That's all right. But this is the way I would play it.
Right.
And that's what he would tell you. This is the way I would play it. And the shit would be, I'm sorry, the stuff would be so funky. It would be so funky when he finished it until you'd be like, dang, we really need to rehearse now.
Yeah.
Because you playing the notes. Understand, you playing the notes, you playing the chord. Okay? But Boog would say to you, and this is part of his teaching. Boog would say to you, all right, you playing that C7, right? But don't strum it down, strum it up.
Yeah.
It's got a different flavor to it.
Yeah, subtleties, yes.
You know, it's them little bitty things. And that kind of stuff, you know, for all of us on this right here, you know, if you were intimate and you knew Boog, you know, by the time you finish your rehearsal, you didn't get nothing done that you wanted to get done, okay? Right. But you got everything done that sounded right.
And you learn and see, and those guys were all teachers. That's right. They were all professors. I sat in on many rehearsals at the Newburgh, and I was always the fly on the wall. I was watching at all their concerts. I was watching and absorbing, because back then you couldn't sneak in stuff to record because it was too big to carry. So you had to record it up here. And I'm so happy to have, you know, you on the show along with Don, along with Mike Brown and Get Down Brown back up there, you know, and the way that this music came about, you know, for us that weren't on that inner circle, they were people on our walls that we admired. We looked up to them as heroes. And then when you finally meet your heroes, you're like overwhelmed with all this love that they just show you. Because being an independent type of music back then, you know, P-Funk is the greatest band in the world, in the history of the world, because they did it without basic early airplay. And we're going to get into some of that on another show about how the underground movement became above ground. Now you hear, you know, Atomic Dog on commercials and this and that. So once it got worldwide, you know, and little things like the Funketeers Ball started to happen, and different venues, and the venues that you guys put together. You guys are actually pioneers in that. And you know, we're going to do everything we can at IBM to support you with that and make sure that that works. But I got a quick question for you guys up there, Mike, Get Down Brown, in the studio, right? Tell me a little bit about how P-Funk, and all you guys can roundtable it up there, how that music influenced you guys, that you got this big smile on your face.
I'm gonna let him tell you about that.
Yeah, come on, tell me.
He been to every P-Funk concert there ever was down here.
As you should.
He's been to every concert. I've been to like a few, but he's been to every single one of them. Every time P-Funk came to DC, Ron Rivers was at the show.
And me too.
But me too. They really influenced me because of the funk. It's the funk. The funk influence us down here. Everything is derived from the funk.
It is. It's a way of life. It's a way of life. It's like funk music is what hip hop is today. Funk music for us was a way of life. How we dressed, how we talked, how we cut our jeans. Way before this style is out now, we was doing that back then. That's what funk was, you know, hanging out and chilling. Now, Donna, Benevolent, you have this thing online, Maggie's M's Funky Corner Store. And that's a funky name right there. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay. So
what happened?
So my mother was like, my mother was a sage. My mother was a funny lady. And so she used to, when she didn't want to talk to people, you know, she would answer the phone like really strange. And she would say, Maggie Murphy's Whorehouse, Maggie Murphy speaking. So you know, like have my mother like kind of involved. And I said, well, I can't name the store Maggie Murphy's Whorehouse. So I said I was going to name it Maggie Funky Corner Store.
Right,
you know? Right. So that's how I got that name.
I love it. I love it. And, you know, I love people with a sense of humor. We need that. Your mom, you know, I'm sure she was a great lady. And
she was great.
Right. Right. Because she had you. So, you know,
My daughter can tell you. Yeah, my mother raised her. Yeah, she was firecracker.
So, Q, before we run this track, right? Tell me a little bit about this track, Keepers, and how we're going to tie all this together. Because after we do say, speak with you a second, I'm gonna have Mark cue up the track so the viewing world can hear it. Once again, here we are with my benevolent funk family, Donna, Sneed, Q, Get Down Brown and his crew back there hanging out. And here you are on Funk Music with Zack on Super Sunday, IBM.TV. So tell us a little bit about it, bro.
Oh, is that me?
Yes.
That's
I'm gonna let Donna go on that one.
Go ahead. Tell me a little, because we're gonna run the track in a minute, so I can let everybody hear it.
Well, who's best to tell you about it than us?
Yes.
And y'all go for it.
Well, basically, Donna sent a track over to us that had already been started. It was called Keepers of the Funk. So we started working on it, and we basically, it's a remix, as Donna said. It's Keepers of the Funk. It's our interpretation of the funk. Ron Rivers singing lead vocals, Marguerite's on the background. We put the whole thing together, and we try to mention the funk.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the funk, I was in a group years ago called 10 Feet Under, and I met Boogie. I met Tiki Forward, who was their and that's who I followed, or I made my path after Tiki. Come through.
That's why you so bad.
All the other drummers was all right, but when I met Tiki, it was like the funk. And then Jerome Bailey, and then Dennis Chambers.
Dennis.
Okay, yeah, Dennis is my man. Yeah, I love Dennis. I know Kiki too.
Yeah. So anyway, all the concerts I went to, the group that I was with, they used to call us Junior Funkadelic because that's all we played.
Yeah.
Nothing else. So we just did our thing with Funkadelic, and we kind of modified it, played it our way, but played it their way also.
Yeah.
And from there, when I was writing the lyrics for Keepers, I thought every concert that I ever been in, every modification that was done on screen live, and I put it all together into one. And I try to mention everything, as Donna probably know. She could hear everything, and even a toast to the boogie.
Yes.
So that's kind of like, for me, reminiscing on the P-Funk. That's kind of like where I came from.
It was an honor. Yeah. It was an honor to do this. When Donna asked us, it was really an honor. And what we did was our love for P-Funk, each of us, our own love. But we used our own creativity and our love to express what we love so much about P-Funk.
Hey, yo, that's what's up. See, now that's for those of you that don't know out there, that's Funkadelic Funketeers speaking to each other. That's how we talk. Because I could be like, yeah, I understand, I get it, 100%. So I'm gonna have my producer run this track, and we're gonna check that out, and then come back and do some more chit chat. All right?
We are the keepers.
Yeah, just hang out on the side for a minute. Y'all will be good. We got all this covered.
Okay.
Y'all ready to dance?
Well, hey, I'm ready.
Ready to dance? Let's get it.
Keepers of the Funk. Here we go.
It's just a snippet now. It's only a minute, so it's only a minute's worth.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. we know what time it is.
That's a teaser.
we know what time it is. While we chilling, hanging out, Funk Music with Zack. I got my special guest Q. I got Benevolent Funk Donna Sneed in the house. I got my crew in the back over there. Michael Brown and his crew. And we're gonna listen to one of their newer tracks. New Exit is in the house.
Next exit.
Okay. It's hard for me to read when I only had 2 hours of sleep. I'm so sorry. Next exit.
People tear our name up a lot, though. It's okay.
No, it's okay, because my glasses are saying one thing and my eyes and brain are saying another.
Okay. Am I still on? I think I am.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting on my producer to cue up the track so he can make it happen. But Next Exit, that's an interesting name. Where did you guys come up with that name?
We were riding down a highway and we were 95. And we said, we were lost. And he said, what's the name of the band? What are we going to call ourselves?
Right.
And so I was telling Mike, I said, well, take the Next Exit. I said, that's our name, Next Exit.
That's how it comes. That's how it comes.
You know, and so we tie everything, you know, into our brand name, like the title of our item, our each album, No U-Turn, because you know, in life you have to keep don't turn back. That. And Stop, Take It, Don't Miss It. It was our first debut. So Stop, Take It, Don't Miss It. Next Exit, right? So, and each one of those leading songs or title songs all are create positive energy. From Parkway South Records, our own label.
See, and that's what's being independent and doing your stuff on your own label is definitely the way to go. Especially now, it's very hard, you know, to make things happen with the big boys. So, you know, I'm waiting on Mark to cue this track up, and once he cues this track up, we're going to keep chatting. He'll pop in and let me know when it's ready to roll. But I like that name, Next Exit, and I like the fact that you guys are starting your own thing. Because it's always good to be self-contained. Q is a businessman, entrepreneur. You know, his real name is Otis Hawk, so I have to let people know. I love your hat.
That's cool. Thank you, bro.
Along with the bracelet.
I like that.
Send me a hat.
It's all about the one, man.
Store.
Yeah. That's your store now?
Afterglow.
It's on the store.
I ordered.
Now the name is the one. Most people call it the funk. So if you hear any noise, it's just the funk mom and the boys. So nose couldn't swim, but I know he had you dancing with them. Early later funk, the key line, of course, never stop. The funk is live, the funk is live.
Yo, that's popping. I can hear everything. I'm gonna let you guys elaborate on that Next Exit. But I can hear all of the things that you're saying and you're teaching in the funk coming out into that track. And I can also hear all the love, you know, and we're gonna play that track again at the end of the show before we leave. But I can hear all the love that you poured into that. And I can't wait to hear the whole thing. So Donna, when you were, you know, speaking with everybody, getting everybody together, and you know, you got, you know, the Afterglow, and you know, you got, you know, the funk store, you know, Maggie M's Funky Corner Store. Where can we kind of follow all your stuff at, social media wise? Tell us how the audience can kind of follow and find you guys.
Okay, so we're in the process of putting up a Benevolent Funk website, but in the meantime, you can always go to Afterglow 92416, because just to tell you guys, we got this man on mugs, we got Boogie on a mug. I'm trying to, how can I do this? Okay, there it is.
There you go.
There he is.
There you go.
Yeah.
And we're running it on our banner at the bottom too, so the audience can find that out. Yeah, we got.
He's on my cap. See, he's on my cap.
Yep.
And he's also here. We got Mousepad.
There you go.
Okay.
These articles are limited. So what you want to do is go to Funkadelic Fridays. And they're coming up in the next week or so. I'll let Otis tell you a little bit more about that. But just stay tuned. And in the meantime, Linda Scheider and I, we're doing some things. We got some Funky Femme t-shirts and stuff coming out. You know, so that website will be up soon, you know, women owning our funk. But in the meantime, please go to Afterglow 92416 and support. Because another thing, you know, when you talk about supporting musicians and their music, streaming is another thing. Help us, y'all. Buy these hard copies. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the thing. I work every day. Boogie wasn't a musician that protected his music. That didn't make him any less important, like Barbarella said to me yesterday.
Yep.
But as I go forward, I'm working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. My daughter back here, you know, like we're humping. You know what I'm saying? And with the people that donate to Maggie M's, like Otis, and the musicians that are donating music that didn't charge me a dime, I'm talking about I am blessed. But we need you guys' support. So when this music come out, don't stream it, buy it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep, I agree, and thank you for saying that. Thank you for speaking up for all of the independent artists and all of the entrepreneurship. Because and Q, I'm gonna get into this with you in a second, but just because is not an excuse. You know what I mean? I hear people say, "Oh, well, just because this, just because that." But like you mentioned, you can buy the hard copy. You know, I got tons of CDs down here. I still buy them all. You know, because that's where an artist is going to actually give you something tangible, as well as now you have something that's like forever. You know what I mean? It's never going to go away. Streaming is cool, and I get the social media, but I'm with you, you know, Donna, about, you know, taking care of. Now, Q, when it comes to the business side of this, and we're flipping it, and we're trying to actually make people more aware. You and I was talking yesterday, and next exit, I didn't forget you. I'm going to ask you something, but I wanted to ask you this first while I was on my mind. We were talking about turning the corner in a different direction when you were talking about going social media as far as streaming and all this other stuff for live performances, right?
Right.
And I think I'm so glad you said that, because unfortunately, the elephant in the room, COVID. Okay, we got to deal with that. You know, and how do you feel it's affecting the music game as far as how we actually interact now with people?
Wow, I think it's really tough right now. Everybody's on the same. All our musicians are pretty much in the same boat right now. Nobody's gigging, you know. Nobody's really making money. They're trying to come up with some things on the side. And so one of the conversations we were having yesterday was about pivoting. You know, and I do a number of different things and what have you. One of them, which I found to be, you know, pretty resourceful right now, is to continue to pivot the way we are and try to make things more virtual. This is what IBMTV is doing right now. That's a great thing. Why? Because we can't get out on the road in front of 50,000 people anymore. It's not safe. And I'm gonna be honest with you. At my age, you know, maybe somebody else on this platform right now, I don't really know if I want to get out with 50,000 right now.
Oh, I don't.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, but you know what? We can sit here and we can support each other.
Yep.
And I think Donna put one out. I don't know. It's been a couple months ago or something like that. And I read it. I'm like, damn, this is for real right now.
Yeah.
But the gist of it was, it has something to do with supporting the band. Yes. And the dude came up, and I guess the dude was saying, hey, look, I know the band. Can you let me in? Can you let me in? You're not supporting the band. Right. You ain't supporting the band. Support the band. Buy that $10 ticket or that $20 ticket. Now you supporting the band, because guess what? They got a light bill. They got electricity. They got babies at home. You know, they got people they got to support the band. You can't support me. That ain't, I'm going to tell you what, walking in the back door ain't paying my electric bill. That's right. It ain't doing it. Thank God. So that's the key to it, man. And you know, this whole social media thing that's out right now, you know, we got to keep this going. We got to support each other. And this is the last little tidbit, man. I learned this many years ago. This is not just music. This applies to just about everything in life. That's right. It's that 80-20 rule. If you've not heard the 80-20 rule, look that mug up. Mm-hmm. And as it pertains back to music, 80% of the time that you spend, believe me, is on the business. Yep. Right. It's getting the gig. It's getting on social media. It's setting up your website. It's setting up the streaming. It's setting up the company. Okay.
Yep.
80% of it. That 20% that we go on and we funk out and everybody's having a good time, that's just 20%. The 80% of that is the business that you put behind it so it is successful. So I'm going to leave you with that.
I'm glad you mentioned that. And we got time. We ain't running nowhere. I'm glad you mentioned that because I was just saying this off the air. And Mark and I was talking about it, my producer, about how much time goes into, we got to do what we got to do on the business side. So I want to get the next exit, and I want to get back to this track. We're going to run that track again, too. Okay. Up top, next exit, in my Hollywood Square top square, y'all got that corner. That was always the winner. The triple exit coming down.
It's real cool. It's real cool that you're talking about the business aspect of the music, because my business partners, we were all just talking about that. We were saying that, hey, the business, I'm like, okay, the business part of the music, we really have to handle this and, stay on top of it. We have to do better,
Yeah.
We are basically self-contained. As far as the music business is concerned, I do our taxes.
Yeah. Hey, gotta be self-contained.
I did the articles of organization, and I find this little incentives, and I set up both of us, we do all of the internet things like the Facebook page, the Instagram, and YouTube.
Yeah.
So you really have to stay on top of that. It can
be rough.
And I want to ask next exit about the music, but I wanted to get back on something you touched on, Love. It's like what you mentioned about wearing different hats and things of that nature and being self-contained. I want all you guys to know, Benevolent, Q, next exit, I'm proud of you. A lot of people in the world are proud of you. A lot of people in the world look up to you, and you never know who you're going to touch. So you guys got all the blessings in the world. Keep lifting it up. Keep setting the bar high for others, because they're going to look at next exit. They're going to look at Q. They're going to look at Benevolent Funk and all the things that Donna brings, and they're going to be like, okay, they did it. They're doing it. They're not just talking about it. They're doing it, so I can do it. Right now, somewhere in India or Japan, somebody's watching this show, and I'm getting goose pimples, so I know that's Boogie and them. Right. We're connected. They're saying keep going, because we're never going to let the fallen funk soldiers' memory fade. No way. No how. That's one of the reasons why I started these shows. It's about the funk. I have a funk band, and I'm constantly making sure, like all you guys are, that this brand, this style, this thing called funk, that is the offspring of soul and R&B, had an illegitimate baby and could only come out at night. This thing called funk. That's when people ask me what funk is, I say, well, yeah, jazz got together, but R&B and soul had an illegitimate child, and they didn't want nobody to see it in the day, so he could only come out at night. That's why he's so funky. You know what I mean? And that's it. Right. And feel free to use that. I'm not going to charge you. Feel free. Take that away.
I like that.
I like that.
Put that on a t-shirt, Q.
I got a few notes.
T-shirt.
I'll put it on a t-shirt.
Hey, let's go with it. I just want the shirt. Y'all can have the money. I just want the shirt. Next exit. When you guys were making this beautiful spiritual creation, for the legacy of Boogie and everything that funk stands for, as far as he was concerned. Right. When you were in the studio, I know the brother back there, you were singing, I could hear you. And when you guys were making that music, when you were done with it, how did it make you feel as far as being fulfilled, helping somebody else?
Well, I'll tell you, let me take that.
Yeah, jump in, man. Get it.
It was an honor. It just was an honor. It was an honor. And when you talk about wanting to do something on that genre of music that was so important to us in the 70s and 80s, because we all tried to play it. I tried to play those guitar parts that Gary was playing, and that all of them were playing, because I'm a guitarist. So I was like, I got to learn that part, and I'm going to learn it just like he played it. you know, then you take that type of style and you incorporate it in your own style. And from then on, I had my own style of playing guitar, but it was all came from the funk.
Yep, that's right.
So, and honoring Boogie, because I heard him playing bass on all those songs. I heard him playing guitar because he's a multi-instrumentalist. I mean, I didn't realize that he was a multi-instrumentalist until I met Donna, that he played guitar, he played the bass, he played all that stuff on some of those records. So I'm like, wow, I thought he was just a bass player, but no, he's a guitar player too.
And keyboards, and vocal.
And drums.
And drums, right?
Lyrics, the way Rio did the lyrics, the way they fall, it's perfect. It was so perfect. I was like, wow, I was so impressed because Rio back here wouldn't sing for the group for a long time. We're just finding out he can sing, okay?
He don't sing, he sang.
Yeah.
So I got a question for Rio. Rio, I know when you was penning those lyrics, it came to you angelic. So tell me a little bit about that.
It was, you know what? Actually, when we got the song, I went home that night and all these dreams just popped in my head. Like I said, of all the concerts that I went to, and the dreams were the lyrics.
Yes.
And especially when I dreamt, actually how I started, I dreamt Sir Nose. So then I thought about that. I said, Sir Nose couldn't swim. And then I said, but Aqua Boogie had him dancing with him. You know, so when I put that together, then everything just kind of fell in place. Yeah. You know, and from there, it was just, I mean, it was very easy. It was very easy. I mean, you know, all of it came in, all the lyrics pretty much came in a dream. And then once I started writing it just all popped in my head. When together. All the songs, all the lyrics, everything.
That's love. And that's love. And
you know, it's funny. Benevolent, you mentioned, and you know, and New Exit. Here we are on IBM.TV, live on music with Zack. I got Q, I got Donna Sneed, aka Benevolent Funk. I got Next Exit in the house. Get Down Brown. So we are chilling right now on IBM.TV, talking about something that started in Donna's head. So this just goes to show those of you out there the power of positive affirmation and thinking. And on my shows, I don't get into this negative stuff. No time for it. Too heavy on the back. Right. So when you have something that just can blossom and it's going to explode, I know I'm getting goose pimples again, and that's their way of telling me.
That's why I'm rubbing my hands.
They're with you. They're with you. All of the funk angels, they're with you. They're with me. They're with us. You know, we're all connected right now because of these goose pimples. So they're letting us know they're proud of you guys. They're very proud. I'm very proud. Keep doing what you're doing because it's an amazing thing. It's amazing. And Benevolent, I want to get back to you for a second. When you are getting ready to do your new projects and you're going to have, you know, segments 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, you know this is going to keep rolling now, like the boogie train, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did. So listen, can I just say this real fast? Because I can't remember everybody, and I'm trying to remember everybody, you know, but I have to give a shout out to Andre Fox, Poppy Clinton, and Trelude. Yes. Because they also were artists that came on board. And if I forgot anybody, you know, y'all, I'm getting the old one. But
we all are.
My daughter said, charge it to my head and not my heart.
Of course. You know, and there's going to be plenty of time for you to mention.
So many artists came through. Believe me. And I have everybody written down. And on the next interviews, I'm going to talk to everybody, but I just had to stop. I had to say thank you to Bootsy and Patty. I have to say thank you to Carlon, Clinton, and George. And I definitely have to say thank you to Barbarella Bishop because she keeps me, you know what I'm saying? So if I forgot anybody, y'all forgive me.
And you know what? Don't even worry about that because we're going to have plenty of time. We got plenty of interviews to do because we're going to take this and make it a normal segment. And, you know, Next Exit and Q and you know, Donna Sneed, Benevolent Funk, and whoever else, because this is what the funk does. The funk did for me you know, I'm still here because of funk music. You know, when I'm feeling down, I listen to Maggot Brain. It puts me in a certain place. When I want to get lifted, I listen to, you know, some Parliament or Bootsy's Rubber Band. And speaking of Patty, Patty and I were just talking, and she's coming on next week on my Saturday show, Funk from the Front Seat. And, you know, we're going to chop it up a little bit. But what I'm saying is all the Funketeers, when I started this show and IBM picked it up, and thank you, IBM, for doing that, I had a list. I called everybody, and I told you guys this yesterday. I told you, Donna, nobody said no. And that's the way Funketeers are. They're always going to help another Funketeer around the world. And next exit, you guys definitely got to come on my Sunday show, this show right here, and I'm going to give you your own spot, and y'all can just chop it up. I want y'all to chop it up because the world wants to hear it. Okay. We want to hear it. So we'll plan it. I ain't going to rush you. You plan it. Half-hour show, boom, you come on, and then we do another half-hour interview. I wanted to get that out the way.
Yeah, please do that. Please.
Yeah, sure, for sure. Q, I want to get back to you. I want you to tell people a little bit more about how you were doing a lot of promotion, how you're a concert venue person. Tell us a little bit about your business that you do when it comes to putting artists out there. People need to know.
Well, basically, you know, artists are what artists are to me, okay? And that means that they got to have their own creativity. And so, you know, there's a term that we use, I guess you can say it in corporate America, you know, professionally, and it's enabling, okay? If you haven't played for 27 years, you can't go on stage and tell the musicians what to do. Let the musicians do what the musicians do.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
If your forte is the business side, then maybe that's where you need to be. Okay? Because that 80-20 rule still works. Okay? And 80% of the time, you got to figure out how to get these mugs to the stage. You got to figure out how to get them from Richmond to Boston to Cali. That's a lot of work right there. So know what your strength is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
You know, and then, you know, if you want to pop in somewhere else and there's space for you, whatever, pop in there. All right. Cool. But basically you got to, you know, you got to be behind it. So getting these artists out here, you know, Donna and I, we always had a theme, and obviously we always keyed on Boog and what he stood for. You know, Boogie, I mean, I don't even know how to say this, man. Boogie is my dog, man. I really don't know another way to put it. And this is a brother that taught me how to play when I was 7, 8 years old. He's the first person that taught me how to play. The second mug that I dealt with was Eddie Hazel.
Wow.
Eddie Hazel was always in DC. Always in DC. Me, Boog, and Slim.
Yes.
Always be over in Southeast doing something we ain't got no business doing. But the guitars were somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Trust me. The guitars were always somewhere around there. Yeah. You know? So you got to give props to who you give props to.
That's right. That's right.
To the ones that you know, that's their forte.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
And you fit in, like we say, get in where you fit in.
That's right.
You know, people need to know. Stage ain't where you fit in now.
And people need to know without that business side, we can't even do what we do as artists. Before we do our final thoughts and we're going to play that track again, I wanted to just read some of the comments that our producers are saying. They love you guys. They say, welcome to the family. You know, they're like trying to understand all this funk stuff that we're talking about. And the producer and owner of IBM,
cool.
Proud to have you guys with us, grow and unite with us and support the world. They love doing that. You know, they're talking about, you know, the boogie train, you know, so they're saying, you know, a lot of positive things. And as you go on Facebook later, you'll see, hey, Kim, how you doing? That's my main right there. Kim,
hey, Kim.
Say hi to all my
doing?
Hi, I'm joined today, as always, with Charles.
Hello, Jim. Hello, Lynn Shepherd.
We get to meet you guys because
we're bringing on the family. These are the people behind the scenes now. You know, like you mentioning that business side. These are the road dogs that roll with me.
You may not ever see these mugs. You may not ever see these mugs, but they're back there.
They're back there. That's why they're beaming in to let you know. These are my road dogs.
Hey, Zack, this is a great crowd, and we definitely got this party going and everything. But I've already got that song queued up again, so I know you want to. Before we get to our panel discussion, you want to hear "Keeper of the Funk," that snippet again. I was actually over here just bopping my head and everything, so I wanted to let folks know that I was grooving to that sound as well. As Zack knows, and we were talking about that earlier. I'm a blues and jazz head, but you know, hip hop and funk has also had a special place in my heart as well. So definitely was enjoying that sound and looking forward to putting it back on real quickly. And then, like I said, we'll kick it with a discussion. All of you that have been in Zack's show, y'all are welcome to stick around for the conversation and things of that nature if you want to. But like I said, it'll just be a roundtable kind of discussion. But we get ready to kick that song "Keeper of the Funk" right now. So just wanted to let folks know that. So if y'all hold on 1 second, that's what's getting ready to come y'all's way.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Pin the tail on the phone.
3, 2, 1.
Bang, Margot.
Now the name is the one.
Oh, yeah.
People call it the funk. So if you hear any noise, it's just the funk mob and the boys. So no couldn't swim, but I can boogie if you dancing with me. Early let the funk the key line, of course, never stop the funky style.
All right, y'all.
Keepers of the funk.
Now the name is the one. Call it the funk. So if you hear any noise, it's just the funk mob and the boys. So no couldn't swim, but I can hear you dancing with me. Early let the funk the key line, of course, never stop the funky style.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. All right.
You wait
No,
till
that's what's up.
you hear the whole thing.
That's what's up. So I'm gonna ask my road dogs, you know, Kim and Jim and Lynn and Kit. You guys got anything you guys want to mention to my funk fam over here?
Oh, Q, I wrote down your .com. So
cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I never would have known you without Zack. So
I would.
Funkmaster.net.
Yeah, our website is www.nextexit.net, so you can check out a bunch of stuff for us as well on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all that kind of stuff.
NEXXZIT.
Right.
Let me just say hello to Lady Pearl and Gloria Esau in Plainfield, because these ladies were like behind me 100%.
Yes.
I couldn't have done anything without them, and they really encouraged me. They told me I could do it. They gave me my first business cards, and so Lady Pearl, Gloria Esau, I will always love you.
Well, Donna, I did it all myself, so I can't relate.
I love you guys. Y'all are the bomb.
I told you I got some road dogs. I got some road dogs, Donna. Kim, I wanted to ask you with the gentleman Q. His name is Otis Hawk, but I'm sure he would love to come on the business show that we do at IBM, because this gentleman Q in the middle square here. He's got some serious business ethics and some serious business knowledge that I'm sure he would want to drop. So I'm gonna make that happen between you guys. But Kim, you know, she's our mom here to make sure that we keep everything rolling. And I just want you guys to know, all these people in my life right now, they're the reason why I continue to do this. They gave me this platform, and I love each one of them dearly. And I can tell you guys that without Kim, Jim, Lynn, Mark, and Kid, and you know, Win, people you don't see, I love them dearly, guys. You're gonna get
back. He will never come to the front stage. Win has a little bashful streak in him. I'm hoping that we can get some funk to come out of him a little bit and join. But yeah, you've got some people who just don't like to be on stage. So,
yeah, like me. I
want to tell you guys, thank you. We couldn't be having this much fun without Zack. As you guys know, it takes a tribe, a community to globally connect. This is some of our sign language that we have. Welcome to the family. But let's connect on social. Let's help promote each other when we see each other out there doing things. Let's like each other. If we can't watch each other now, let's watch each other later.
Yes.
Because there's a lot we can do for each other to help each other grow. And one of the things I learned when I was on a speaking tour with Google, I was asked to speak for minority entrepreneurs in the Hispanic and Black entrepreneur community. And one of the things I like to inspire is connectivity, right? To connect, to be together, to work together, to know each other, and to be there to help each other and be an extra resource. Because that's the only way we're going to grow and be able to prosper. And that's what we want, right?
Thank you. If you're just charging $10 a ticket, man, put me down for 10.
There you go.
That was just an example.
Oh, okay.
But think about this. So, like we're talking about, we brainstormed last week. We're going to be doing a marathon here on IBMTV. We want to connect all of you great musicians, some voices, even spokespeople, because a marathon cannot just run on music alone, right? You got to have the business people, the spokespeople, and things like that. We want to run a weekend where we collect donations that go back to the artist, right? My son's an artist too. He's not a musician artist. He does some performing arts, but he's an artist as well. Other communities are struggling. So my ideas were to be able to join all our voices together, host a very, very large marathon globally for 24 hours a day for the whole weekend. And we've got the connectivity worldwide with Ankit and other people. We've got a global board of advisors that we can, once we get this going. So we were hoping to do this in September if everybody was on. But I like the idea, you know, $10 a ticket. But that we give back to the artist. And then we allow to have you guys to have some airtime. Right? What better way to distribute your music, get your name out there, than to have a platform like IBMTV where you can share your music worldwide? Because it's not just being heard here in America. Let me tell you that. I get texts from Afghanistan, and they go, "Wow, oh my God, you guys are cool!" And they actually air us on their network. They air our shows on their network. So you're not just being heard here. But what happens is when you grow outside of this network, that's where we monetize and help you grow. And we're able to say, okay, we're able to grow. But Q, yeah, let's connect. Come on our business show. Anybody want to come visit us on our celebrity talk show on Tuesday? Yeah, I mean, we're open.
Where do you live? Ankit, where do you live?
Who's that?
I live at my home.
No, he's in India.
He's just trying to be modest, but I think that we are a worldwide community. Ankit lives in India, so the rest of us are all here in various parts of America. I know that y'all are over there representing kind of like the parts of the world that you represent. Jim represents California, and sometimes we'll have other international folks that are producers as well. But Ankit is representing India, so y'all have just gained some Indian fans of funk.
I am representing
1.3 billion.
I am representing the global citizens actually. I'm not representing.
Oh, he's
India.
a global citizen. That's right.
Well, it's only 1.2 billion fans over there. That's all Ankit has. It's only 1.2
His
billion.
age is amazing.
1.3 billion.
I would, you know,
The reason this is so cool, you know, and I'm talking to Q and Donna and Next Exit, because in India, on that side of the world, it's prime time. It's 9 o'clock at night, right? So the 12 o'clock slot here,
11.
It says prime time there. And that's why spreading this funk music that they may not really have all this knowledge of is so important. It's amazing how we're all connected through the internet, something that most of us probably hated when it first came out. But it's amazing how the creator in the universe works. Somehow the universe knew we was going to get COVID and we were going to be able to do this. We're all in different places, but yet we all getting the same goosebumps. And I keep going to that because that's that love thing that we all talk about. We support, you know, all of that at IBM.TV. That's why for me to be part of this family, and you guys are now part of this family, it's amazing. And I can't reiterate that enough, how much it has really, really done so much for me personally. That's why, you know,
yeah, can we do it?
And I have to, Zack is amazing.
No.
I have to tease folks about something really quick. And Anki cannot answer the question. I need my Funketeers to answer this question. But I was actually watching TV earlier yesterday. And, you know, they do those top 10 sports, like the sports highlights. There was a sport that was actually featured in the top 10. And it's a sport that's not oftentimes featured. Anki cannot answer the question because he might know the answer, but it was featured in the top 10 plays. So I want to know, what sport do you think was featured? You know, all the sports they were doing highlights. What sport do you think was featured?
It was cricket. It had to be cricket.
Cornhole.
Cricket.
Cornhole.
It's not chess. It's cricket. It's not chess and it's cricket.
It was cricket. Yes, cricket was featured as like the number 7 or the number 8. It was an amazing catch that the player made in the cricket game. So it was featured in the one of the sports networks as one of their top 10 plays. So definitely, I thought of Anki when I saw that play.
But Mark, did you know that it really includes 3 games? It's not just one game, because they have bowlers. So they're talking about bowling at the same time. Then they also have wickets. And so they're talking about croquet. So when you talk about cricket, you're really talking about croquet and you're talking about bowling. Did I get that right, Ankit?
Yeah.
Zack, can I introduce you all to Boogie's baby boy?
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. This is Boogie's son. This is Boogie's baby boy.
Yeah, man. On Facebook. How you doing?
I'm well.
Good. You look just like your dad.
Yeah. He passed me some of his good looks.
Oh, totally did. I make sure I follow you on Facebook, so I'm definitely following everything. I may not comment on a lot, but I know who you are for sure. And we want to play. We will play.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you. And I know that and I was just talking to Zack about this offline and everything, but I know that Zack is going to bring y'all on later on to do a full show and everything. But I did want to just kind of like flash the screen, and maybe even if y'all want me to, I can let a little bit of the song play, maybe not the full 5 minutes, but just to let folks know what y'all are about as well. So I was getting ready to do that as well, just so folks can get a little taste of what y'all are about and everything.
Real quick, I'd like to say that we're inspired to inspire older artists and musicians. You know, we're in our 60s. We're not spring check-ins, baby. And
young to me.
We still at.
We're still at, and we're not cancer survivors. And you know, wow. So you can just keep going, keep doing. You love
because you don't look like you're in your 60s. So definitely keep doing it because you don't look like you're in 60s. That's right.
So here's just a little bit of a taste of Funk Show. I'm here to put that on right now.
Yeah, it's the funk.
This is a little go thing we call talk show. It's a remix of something that we did, but it's our new single, and it's out on Parkway South Record. We hope you enjoy it.
All right.
Show me what you're talking about. So do you have to do that?
Yeah, I got the
Oh, that's Bob Marley.
Talk that talk. Show me what you're talking about. You want that talk show. You talk that talk. Show me what you're talking about. Talk show. Talk that talk. Show me what you're talking about. Talk show. Talk that talk. Show me what you're talking about. Baby, it makes me feel so good when you call me in the middle of the day. And ooh, how you turn me on with the sexy things you say. Everybody around see me blush. I couldn't help it if I could. I even heard somebody say, girl, it must have been good. Talk that talk. Show me what you're talking about. Talk show. You talk that talk. Show me what you're talking about. Talk that talk. Show me what you're talking about. Talk show. Talk that talk. Show me what you're talking about. Night rolls in and here we are again on the telephone, calling my name in a whisper. Yeah, since chicken through my bones. Suddenly I'm all sized up, lined up, anticipating. Gotta ask you for how long, yeah, you're gonna keep me waiting. Talk show,
Bang, girl.
talk that talk. Show me what you're talking about. Talk show, you talk that talk. Show me what you're talking about.
Yeah, we'll play more of that later on. We come back for the full show and everything. I wanted to share that with folks and let y'all know that y'all were really rocking it and really enjoyed that. So, like I said, we'll get ready to get back to our regular conversation, but I was thoroughly enjoying that beat, and y'all had some real good sounds there. The vocalists, you are tremendous. I really was enjoying both of yours. So,
she's a bad girl.
I've actually got friends in the music business of all types, everything from R&B to funk to jazz to blues, and you got some chops. So definitely want to
Thank you.
Now, Kim, I wanted to ask you, now that we have, next exit on, and we have Donna Benevolent Funk, and you had mentioned a little bit about it. Maybe you can tell them a little bit about the marathon that we're getting ready to do. This for Kim.
Okay, so first off, and if any of you are business people, please kind of connect with us. The musicians, we want to stay in touch with you. We are talking about the marathon. Vancouver and I are working out the time. I think we're looking at September 21st. But for many reasons in September, hopefully we'll be past COVID. But the marathon is going to be geared towards raising money for the artists and musicians. We want as many musicians to come and join us to run this marathon. We'll need good business people to help work with us, to connect with us, to make sure that their musicians are there, have what they need. Because it requires good bandwidth, good lighting. But we've been doing, Zack, you've been doing a great job with the people you've been bringing on live. So I think that part we're working out. But the idea is to bring more awareness to musicians like you. You've kind of been set back, right? You're not able to get out there and do your thing. You're not able to be with the people because you live for this. You live for the connectivity. And this is something that's been breaking my heart, is when I hear musicians say, I don't feel like I can keep going on because I can't feel the crowd. I'm not there with them. Because that's what feeds you. And maybe the money people do, right? But truly what feeds you is what you get fed back from the crowd. We want to do that. we want to build it so that you can hear the clap. We're working on that. And so that the crowd can connect and engage with you, like text messages, hey, how's it going, what do you want? So we want that engagement, but we want to do this to raise money so that we can help the artists, give back to the artists, also open up more doors for broadcasting your work and help you on. So help us help you, basically. Also help us connect. This is one of the things we want us to all do is connect on Facebook, Instagram, all the social media, promote each other, help each other. If you need some airtime, call us. You go, hey, I got this new song, I want to promote it. Call us. Every one of the family, they like Zack was on Alexandra's show in South America last week. Zack was literally being aired on South Africa, not South America. We've got shows that are going to be showing in Nigeria, so it's not in India. So let get your music out there. Help us help you.
Okay, they want us to be a part of the marathon. Okay.
Yeah. Because see, what basically we're doing is this big thing, and I'm gonna get to Lynn because Lynn, I wanted you to let everybody know on this panel about your dollar store and about your support, as well as Jim. That's very important. And you guys can spread this around down the queue, and next exit, Michael, get down Brown. Lynn Shepard, and Jim and all of the people that support what we're trying to do here. So Lynn, jump in for a minute and tell us a little bit about the dollar store and how some of the people can find the products that they need.
Before you guys do that, if you're really good, I'll send you some free dollars to spend on the dollar store. So all you have to do is listen and register, and I'm going to send you a shopping spree. So
he hasn't sent me anything.
That's just not right at all.
The problem is that Jim asked everybody to send him the gift numbers. Yeah. Anyway, and so we have lots of. First of all, my family owns the family.dollarstore.com, which is an online dollar store. Okay. We are supporting Money Masters, which is a not-for-profit that owns IBMTV and makes this possible. So we're really looking for people to support the dollar store, because when you buy on the dollar store, you're helping to support the mission of reducing the gap between poverty and financial sustainability, because IBMTV provides financial education and financial fitness, and that's what we're all looking for. But think about what happens when you're shopping on an online dollar store. First of all, you're getting a lot of products that are a lot less expensive than what you would get if you shopped over the counter. And I'll give you an example. Kimberly has a face mask. If you look at her, she has no lines in her face because she uses either face mask or the line reducer. Oh, yeah, we all try and do this while we're on the show, because we also don't want to spread any computer viruses. So just in case people might get computer viruses, we put our masks on. But no, to be serious, what happens when you shop online? Number one, you don't have to go out. You don't have to get COVID when you go out. Number two, time is money. So you save the time that it would take for you to go to the store. Number three, our products, a lot of our products are a lot less expensive than you would find over the counter in stores. Okay. So because of it, you're saving money so that you can invest the money. And when you invest the money, then you have the money when it comes time to pay taxes, and you can pay forward and give to your charities that you want. So we have lots of great things on the store. As an example, Kimberly's wearing the mask. Now, if you notice, she's wearing it inside out, because the blue side out protects the people you're around. But the white side out also protects you because from getting the virus. So we have face masks that you can get 50 face masks for $25. You're not going to get that in a store anywhere. But
how much is that per mask?
How much is it per mask? Well, you got to get your calculator out, Jim.
Oh, okay.
I know that Q is going to be able to tell us, because he's a businessman, that if you can get 50 face masks for $25, I think that's 50 cents, Jim. But now we're going to put Jim to the task here. Because here's the thing. We have gift tokens that we give to everybody. If you just sign up to become a customer, okay, you are going to get gift tokens, $5 worth of gift tokens. It's like getting gift cards, going to CVS or Walmart or to Target. You get these gift tokens, and if you use the $5 worth of gift cards to buy the masks, it's only going to cost you $20 instead of $25. So even though I have an engineering degree, I needed Jim to tell me it's 40 cents a mask. Okay. But look, if you really want to become part of the club here, you have to get Minion napkins. Okay. Because for those of us who are in the club, and Zach, you need to order yours.
I will soon, but here's my Minion.
I know. And I know that Mark has his Minion napkins. This is the real club right here. So we have those. And for those of you who follow chess, okay, you need to get one of our CBD patches, because Jim has them. He hasn't brought them out yet. But when Jim goes and plays Sasha, he has such pain that he has to put the patch on his head before he plays. Okay? But then, because those chess players are so heavy to move around, he doesn't want to get tendonitis in his arm. So he has to put the patch on his arm ahead of time, because Kimberly has taught him that if you know you're going to have pain ahead of time, put the patch on before you start, okay? But all kidding aside, we are here because of the fact that we're supporting the mission of Money Masters. We love the mission. We're giving 100% of our profit to Money Masters through the end of September, and through the end of August. Anybody who signs up to become a customer, you're going to get an additional $5 worth of gift tokens. So go to the IBM.TV website. There's a big round button. And for those of you who are colorblind, because especially men, 25% of the men are colorblind. Okay, it is green, but I'm just going to tell you that it's round so that you don't have to worry about it. Push on the round button. It will take you to the website and become a customer. And we will send you an additional $5 worth of gift tokens. But Mark, one more thing, Mark. If you get your friends to sign up, okay, then we will give you an additional $5 worth of gift tokens. Okay, so let's help support Money Masters. We have over 4,300 items. Since I haven't seen Donna, Q, and Michael and the crew before, I have to tell you this. You should be impressed with Mark, because Mark's looked at 4,119 of the items. Okay. Now we're waiting for him to go through the last 181, and then we fooled them because we added some more items. So Mark has to go and look at more items.
It's a whole conspiracy. They got a conspiracy going against me. They keep adding new items, even though I've got some specific items that I want. I want the hammock. I want some other items that they don't have. You know, it's not down items, but I want these items that are next to impossible and things of that nature. But I've got to tease Lynn about something. You know, musicians oftentimes, as I know Donna and Q and Michael and his crew know and everything, oftentimes they have to eat quick food and things of that nature. And the Alatoy has some tremendous things in that. They call me sometimes on the show the Cookie Monster, because I've ordered cookies from them a couple of times, and they do have some great cookies. They've also got, I don't know how many of y'all have went the college route or remember going to college route and having to get those ramen noodles. They've got noodles. Need those ramen noodles. They've got those noodles for you, because you know sometimes, particularly in this age that we're in now, sometimes you got to go where you can in terms of getting some discounted kind of food
that $1 goes a long way in ramen.
Monies and things of that nature. So I do know, like I said, Zack's a friend of mine. I've got some other friends that are musicians of all types. So I know sometimes you got to reach down there and get those items that are going to be get you some flavor, get you some content in your stomach, but at the same time, they're not going to be overly expensive. So definitely check out Lynn because he's got some tremendous ones in the dollar store. And just one quick point I was going to make to anchor and everything. Me and Zack were talking about this earlier. There are some tremendous shows, and I hope that y'all will take this, and I'm getting ready to be a little bit more on the serious side right now, that we have here on IBM.TV on a regular basis. I know we did a one on suicide. Actually, something was brought in anchored, the one that we did on child abuse. It looked like it was done by one of our Indian producers. I'd like you to talk a little bit about that because I only caught a little bit of it, but what I caught it looked tremendous, and I will be going back to watch more of it.
Yeah, it is serious. And thank God, we have places for people to go. Some countries don't. And we got into that a month ago about that, where some people don't really have a chance to reach out. And we tell everybody at IBM.TV, anybody you may know, all of us are available all the time. So if you're down and out, you feeling some kind of way, because COVID has us really all mentally screwed up, stressed out, everything, and then we haven't even really touched on the elephants in the room, Black Lives Matter, and which we'll get into on other shows, as well as the political garbage that we had to deal with. So there's a lot of things going on, but all you people on this panel and all the people that this Funk family and this IBM.TV family, it's a blessing to have an outlet so we can get our ideas out, express our opinions.
Also just express. Exactly, Zach. Exactly. Yep. One more thing I want to add about Lynn's mission is our goal is to close that gap between poverty and sustainability. Yeah. We want to inspire people to become financially fit, physically fit, and mentally fit. And that's what we really want to do, because the biggest problem in our society, in America today, is financial literacy. And so many people, even people who become very successful, might end up in poverty again because they did not learn the right tools. And Nick Pellegrino, who founded this, that frustrated him. He caters to a lot of the very, very wealthy people, and he would always ask himself, why is it so many people get into trouble financially? And it's because we lack financial education. So that's what we want to do. We want to inspire you. We've got a lot of shows that we cater to help inspire people to become financially smart and fit. It doesn't have to be boring. If you're hanging out with Jim and Lynn and Anklet, Zach and Mark, it's kind of fun. And a lot of and every one of these guys, Zach too, we bring up issues that bring us down for a reason, so we can get rid of them and bring ourselves back up again. Yeah. So that's what the music shows are about, is to recharge our batteries so that we can continue these very important issues. And I want to thank Mark and Zack and Anklet and Lynn and Jim for making these shows happen.
Well, one of the things I got to tell you is, Donna, we have to tell the truth here. And you're saying you're old, and I'm looking at you and I'm not believing it. And
I'm 67.
Woohoo! A young 67. Get younger every day. And the thing is one of the things that Lynn has is beauty products, and you won't know it by looking at me, but you can look at Ken, and you can see that these beauty products, how much do they sell on Amazon?
Some of the products that I like to use, it would cost you $25 to $60. $60 for one of the products on Amazon, and I get the same product, the same label for $2 at the dollar. Yeah. Genesis anti-line cream, which will sell for $60 on Amazon. It's a little tube, and it's $2. It's the same bottle, the same everything. And one of my favorite face masks that I dearly, dearly love, it's over the counter, $25 at the counter. But again, the same mask, dollar store for $2, and I have it delivered to my house. So huge difference. and just the cosmetic side of it. Now, I don't get my stage makeup there because they don't sell it yet. But just
I do.
shocked when I saw that line cream. I mean, it's like, oh my God.
If I can step in, I just want to say real quick, if I can step in on that, skin tip, looking young and vibrant. Aloe vera, sweetheart.
Aloe vera?
Aloe
Yeah.
vera. I grow my own.
I don't know if you sell that.
I use aloe vera, and there's a little cream my mom used to make. She was didn't have a lot of money, and she would mix up aloe and a little cream that she had.
Zack with his aloe vera right there.
Yeah. Good, Zack.
It doesn't have to be expensive. That's what I tell people.
Yeah.
It does not have to be expensive.
And it's not cheap. It's not expensive, but it's not cheap. These are quality products.
You know, you drink a lot of water every day, but you do things that make you happy. Because when you smile, my mom always told me when you smile, that's a facelift. So, yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask, right? Everybody on the panel. I'm gonna start with next exit up top, and then I'll get to you, Don and Q. But with COVID, how are your particular communities dealing with the school thing? Because I'm concerned, I have kids, and I'm just curious what other states are doing. Here in North Carolina, it's been an option, but they actually are not letting kids go back to school until like January, they think. So I'm going to start where you guys are, Michael. What's going on with that?
Actually, in DC, they're just doing all remote learning until further notice. In PG County, not in Charles County and PG, they have alternate. You can either go or they have some online, some in person learning, but it's no set guidelines yet. Really, it's still
it's crazy.
Everybody's trying to get it together.
Yo, Q, what about where you are?
Yeah, well, I'm in the ATL, but my kids, my regular kids are grown. My grandkids are still up in the DMV, and up in the DMV, they're basically, I think they put it back a week or two. My family's been fortunate, like they started to do in-home training like a year or two ago, so they're beyond the curve right now. So they're doing okay. But in Atlanta, it's kind of back and forth right now.
Yeah, how about you, Donna?
I'm from Ocean County, New Jersey. They're basically giving you a choice, but you do have some kids that are in school here.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
Right now, there. Yeah.
You can see that, and that's I'm a little concerned, you know, and this is off the topic, but only because I always thought that every state, yes, has to do their individual thing, but to me, until they figure out vaccine, no vaccine, what we're dealing with, I was just concerned like what the rest of the country is doing, because we're all so focused on our little bubbles where we live at, you know. How about Jim? Where you out? And I know Lynn calls you the Republican Socialist of California, and I didn't forget that. I didn't mention it, but I didn't forget. That's what Lynn and Jim have this side thing, just so y'all know, right? Donna Q and Next Exit, they call each other's states different things. So the Social Republic of California, Jim, what's going on?
You know, the same thing, man. It's all up in the air, and it's depending on the county that you live in. You know, it's a big state, but everybody's has different rules depending on what county you're in. And in our county, there's options. They're trying to get places that you can go to school, and but they're also allowing online presence as well. But I think the kids don't need to go to school; they need recess. The kids got to play with each other.
Yes, exactly.
No, they absolutely must play with each other all day long, but they need to be able to play with each other.
Yeah, Ankit, how about in India, where you are?
They're growing in India. I mean, kids are not going to school. There are no schools, but a lot of kids are doing online studies using different platforms. And that's the case. And it's like a peak in India right now. We have around 50,000 cases recorded every day. So, but Glenn said that kids should be united and together. But small kids who are not sure what is Corona all about, so they don't know what is social distancing. And to keep them in school, it's a little risky. And then I had a word with Dr. Taiwana, one of your friends, Zack, and he told me that if the teacher got COVID, what happened to the students? Because that's what is the problem with it. So it's not just about getting students get together, but it's more about taking the right precautions and following up the right thing, because we still don't know what will happen in future. People who already have COVID, they are from COVID right now, but what is the future impact? No one knows about that.
Yeah. Yo, Kim, how are they pulling that off in Iceland, Kim?
Oh, she's down there on the mute thing, so we'll get her on mute.
How are they pulling it off in Iceland, Kim?
Hi, guys. Let's talk about this. Some of the countries never had to shut down, okay? And their COVID infected rates are very, very low. So are their death rates. And they're very small countries. So if an epidemic came in, it would wipe them out. The epidemic did hit them, but they had a pandemic team. All of these countries had a pandemic team. So what they do whenever you have an epidemic, if you watch one of my favorite movies of Nigeria, when it got hit by Ebola, called 93 Days, realistically, it's going to take more than a month to 3 months to stop a pandemic or an epidemic if it hits. But Iceland was able to do this. The children still go to school. Hong Kong is the same way. The children still go to school. They still go to work. They hit hot zones. They don't test the people that were already sick because they knew they didn't have enough test kits. They isolated sick people and said, go over here, we'll treat you. They treated it with common sense. They treated it with common respect, right? And they treated everyone as if everyone's lives were essential and everyone's jobs were essential. So that's how Iceland was able to do it. You have Hong Kong who did exactly the same thing. They were right next to China, okay? They could have been wiped out in a heartbeat. Instead, they got smart. But what they do is they isolate the hot zones. They allow people to function. How brilliant is that, right? So all of these countries, there's other ones. The Netherlands have done really well. And I try to stay in touch with some of these countries because I've interviewed their leaders on our TV show. So I try to stay in tune with what's really happening, not with what the news is feeding us, but what they're really doing. So we should learn from this, right? There's no reason why we should be pulling apart the way we are and suffering and struggling at the rates we are. We don't have to. We just need to be. So I would like to say, if you have a voice in your community, just start using that voice to say, hey, why aren't we following some of these footprints?
Zach, and then I saw that Lynn had a question as well. Yeah, that's what I was going to do. I was pointing to Lynn.
So a friend of mine went back to England about a month and a half ago because her father was dying, and he ultimately did die. And when she got back last week, she gave me a call and she said, you know, what's interesting here, Lynn, is that when you turn on the TV, all you hear is politicians talking about COVID. She said in Europe, you hear doctors talking about COVID, and the problem we have is the politicians, and so I mean that's just one of the issues, but it's a major league issue here in this country.
You know what
unfortunately, Jim, just one other thing. They don't realize that in the Declaration of Independence, it's we the people. And it's instead, they think it reads we the politicians. And so we just can't
get rid of about that, Zach. I know you got a comment you're going to make as well, Jim, but I was going to ask Q, because I was going to ask Q something. Yeah, and I was actually going to toss a question to Q as well, but you go ahead first, Zach.
No, he's on mute. You got to take him on mute.
Okay. Don't know if I hit that one, but we'll get that off.
Yeah. Yo, Q, as a oh no, go ahead, Lynn. Go ahead, Jim. Go ahead.
Are wearing masks, and it's simple. Wear masks, and we don't do it in this country.
Yeah, it's a very simple thing.
It is simple. But as a businessman, Q, how has this actually affected some of the things that you're involved in? I know a lot of businesses aren't going to be using buildings anymore. You know, a lot of people understand they work from home, and now they're like, oh, you can work from home, no overhead. How do you think that's going to affect going forward?
The way I see it right now, I'm pretty well connected with the hospitality industry. And so I use that as my first example. We're in a mess. That's the first thing I can say. All right. Little or no food and beverage. You can't do buffets and open food extravaganzas like you used to be able to do. And so there's a huge pivot. But in terms of hotels and what's happening, at least here domestically, one of the things is really making sure that we got the right PPE, the right equipment to go into these hotels. As soon as somebody leaves that room, you spraying that thing down, you wiping everything down, and you're preparing for the next guest that may come along. And how that's affecting people, you're getting a lot more transient business meaning mom and pops with their kids going into the hotels, as opposed to conventions. Conventions right now,
nope.
Done.
Not
Can I
happening.
ask you a question, Q? One of our people who comes on our show a lot, they're in the, well, a lot of people are in the PPE business. They kind of pivoted, right? Business people did. But in the hospitality industry, you know, we're talking about being able to sanitize a room, sanitize an airplane, and things like that easily, because you just can't throw a bug bomb in there. And well, I guess you could. But so they're looking at this new ultraviolet thing that would kind of go in and beam the room, right?
Yep.
Are you guys looking at that as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
So that appears to be right this moment as we speak, that appears to be the wave of the future, is the ultraviolet. Okay. The one thing that I will say, I just saw maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago, there's people out there just selling blue lights.
Scam.
I'm going to tell you right now, I deal in that industry because I use the ultraviolet ray in one of my inventions, well, not my invention, but one of my products. And so we sanitize water with it, right? It's for third world products. So I know, I'm glad you brought this up. Don't light the blue light. Don't do it.
Just don't go out and buy a blue light.
It's an ultraviolet.
Disco lights.
And
yeah, it's got to be ultraviolet.
You can't look at it with your eyes. Do not look at it with your eyes. It will burn out the retinas. They're very, very dangerous. If you've ever watched Men in Black, and you know they how they scan with the light and they put their sunglasses on,
and then they forget everything. Yeah.
Don't look at the light. That's all I gotta say.
Don't look at it.
We have it locked in a special shield for water to pass through. That's how we do it. You know, you can see the lights on, but you can't see the light. Basically,
hey, Mark, could you unmute next? Oh, go ahead, Q.
Let me do one flip side to that whole scenario there. The one thing that guests have the opportunity to do now, generally when they're in an open environment like that or a hotel environment, they do now have the ability to say, "Don't come to my room. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here 2 nights. Don't worry about cleaning my room. I don't want anyone in my room." And so you as the consumer, you feel a lot more comfortable that nobody's been in there except you, your respective other, you know, and it gives you a better feeling as well. So that's another thing that's happening in there.
I've been doing that anyway, like clean, you know, save the towel kind of thing. I've been doing that for 2 or 3 years, just because I don't make that bit of a mess usually. But yeah, I know I get it. I think it's the new wave. What else is happening in the hospitality industry that makes it so people can travel now? What are some other things?
Obviously in the restaurants, if you are fortunate to be at a property that actually has a restaurant open, you're still getting maybe a server coming up to you with a mask. But obviously you still have to make sure, well, you don't, but the hotel or the property has to make sure that utensils have been cleaned properly. I got a whole nother side to me. I do training, food and beverage training. And so when I get a server that I'm watching that's cleaning a utensil and they're polishing a utensil to put down in front of a guest to eat off of, and then I see him pick the utensil up with the tines, it drives me batty. Absolutely batty. You have just contaminated the very thing that you have polished for 5 minutes, by the way, and it doesn't take you 5 minutes to polish that. Okay, but you have just recontaminated, and that kills me. So I do see a lot of that. So it's all about the property. It's all about the brand. It's about wherever you are to make sure that they're doing the right thing.
I want to let Mike jump in there. Mike, get in there because I know you had something to say.
No, Margot actually had something to say.
Okay, Margot. Okay,
I was asking.
I always have something to say.
We have to log off afterwards because we got.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, Margot, what is it?
Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate or touch on the mask, wearing the mask. The surgical mask with the blue and one side. I'm asthmatic, and whenever I put that on my face, I'm coughing and I can't breathe. And now I learned why. Because surgical masks were only meant for surgeons to wear up to 2 hours and discard them and replace it with a new one, because they have a chemical in them that when you inhale them, they would, cause problems for your lungs. So I got rid of that and I make my own.
That's a good point.
I use hemp fabric, which has a natural fight off antibodies and bacteria. But the little blue and white ones, they will cause you to have scar tissuing and inflammation on your lungs.
Yeah, I throw mine out after every couple of hours. But again, next exit has to cut out. Next exit is ready to leave, Michael Brown. So I want you guys to know, come back real soon. I'll be calling you this week, and we're going to set some stuff up. Thank you, Next Exit, for coming on.
Thank you so much.
We love you.
We're definitely going to
be part of the family. And, I'll be calling you this week so we can chat it up, all right?
Thank you so much.
Before we wrap up, we are starting a new show today at 2:30 p.m.
Love you guys.
And that is the show. So it's Talking Up Theme, started by Zack and Dylan. So do watch our show live on IBMTV. So that's our new show. So we are starting.
It looks like a great new show. We got 2 Zacks now. That's a bad thing. We got 2
Zacks. And I'm upset because
the Zack invasion. I kept telling them that.
My head blew off.
But they didn't want to listen to me. I kept telling them that, but they didn't want to listen to me. So I told them that you were going to have that reaction, Zack. So just to let you know, your producer was on top of it.
One cue, though.
Tell Kill. But
just 1 cue. 2 Zacks, 1 cue.
All right, I'll let y'all slide. I'll let you slide. But I'm Zack 1. Just not get it twisted.
Zack Prime.
I'm right. No, I'm 1.
Zack Prime, there's Zack Beta.
Not get it twisted.
Zack 1 and Zack 2. I know we got to wrap up everything, but I did have a quick question for Q real quick and everything. How are things in terms of the elections? Because I know that Atlanta is down where you are, and we are going to have those national elections and absentee voting, and y'all have 2 candidates that might be the vice president. So I was just wondering what your thoughts were along those lines, because I know Stacey Abrams is down there, and also I believe it's Val Demings or one of the others is out of Georgia. So just wondering your quick thoughts. I know we're wrapping up, but if you could just give us your quick thoughts about what's going on in that regards.
Yeah, my quick thoughts on that is we need a change. All right, and I think we all agree upon that. It's unfortunate that things have gone on as long as they have, but the folks that we see right now, I think you can choose from whichever one you want. If you want to say Abrams, and I'm not going to pigeonhole any one person in this commentary right here, but what we need to do is, as we say kind of in corporate world, clear the path. What does clear the path mean? Make sure that the voting polls are safe, that they are secure, make sure people can get to them, make sure that they can make, the vote that they want to make, regardless of who it is. Okay. The important thing is to go out and vote and make sure that you clear the path so that we can move on.
Donna, jump in. Your last words and thoughts, Donna.
Forever funkin' on.
Forever funkin' on, brother. That's good enough. That says it all.
I think what Donna's trying to say is the only Clinton she wants in the White House.
George Clinton.
George.
All right. Enough said enough.
There you go. And we love you, Donna. And thank you, Q. Thank you, Donna, for joining us. We're going to be chatting.
It's a pleasure meeting everybody. You all are really great. I'm going to reach out to each and every one of you. I'm going on the dollarstore.com and spend some money. And
exactly the dollar store. It's family.dollarstore.
Family.dollarstore.com. I wrote it down.
Yeah, look under Lynn.
Dollarstore.com.
Okay.
If you can not keep your eyes vertical, just look underneath them. It's family.dollarstore.com.
Or easier, go to IBM.TV and click on the big circle.
That's easy.
IBM.TV and click on the big circle.
I'm colorblind.
Well, then it's big and round.
Don't worry about it. You got you covered. You got you covered. I saw you laughing over there, Donna, when he did that. So I saw you having a good old time with Lynn in that regard. Q, I know we'll wrap it up. Did you have a quick comment? I saw you raising your hand.
No.
I was just gonna say too, thank you to Donna's daughter back there, who's been so quiet. But I'm watching you. I see you. I got you, boo. I love you.
That's my backbone. That's my backbone right
Thank
there.
you.
I don't get nothing done without this girl. That's my backbone right there.
And you, I see the emblem in the back that you guys were advertising back there, the Afterglow. I'm looking at that. Yeah, I got good eyes still. I'm 62.
There you go.
Afterglow. I can see it. See? Now it's amazing.
Right.
I can't see what's in front of me, but I can see that. That's because I'm an alien. See? I'm an alien. See? See what I'm saying?
You can see behind him too.
Love you all, man. That's
Thank you all.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'll call you Zack.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes, ma'am.
Another amazing show, and that's like wraps it up and everything. Unfortunately, because Thank still hasn't given me those magic powers yet. I do not have the ambassador, so I'm just going to do a little wrap up in the old-fashioned way, which is that this has been a tremendous discussion, as always, having a great discussion with Zack to start everything off on Sunday afternoon here in the East Coast, but around different time zones in other parts of the world. So Zack just gave a great conversation with some amazing musicians who then joined us in our roundtable discussion. So definitely enjoyed having them in that roundtable discussion. And then we've got some other great shows that are about to happen right here as well. I believe that our good friend, and I know Jim will be watching as well, Alexandria May will be getting ready to have her musical show. That's the Musical Cafe. And Zack was actually on there, I believe, last week. If I remember correctly, that was last week that he was on and had a tremendous time on there. I was actually watching that show and they were just having a great time. Jim's a little bit jealous because he wants to be on that show and hasn't had a chance to be on there yet. But we'll see what can happen in the near future. But I'm also a little jealous. I haven't popped on there either. But Zack's got an advantage over us. He's coming on. Musician. Neither of us are musicians. Oh, Jim's looking at me like, yes, I am. I can play an instrument.
She's going to be on Zack's show?
Yeah, Alexandra's coming on next week, and she's going to play some great music for us. So I'm having her on next Sunday. I just wanted to put that out there.
Doubly jealous.
Sorry, Jim. Sorry.
Jim, left and right. That's all right. Jim can handle it. Jim's a big boy. He can handle what's going on.
I'll get over it, Zack.
I'm going to get you and your harmonica on here soon. I promise.
Yes, she's got you on this time around, but I'm sure they will be some tremendously insightful guests. And then we've got, because I've been having conversations with them, our new friends, Zack and Dylan, that will be having their conversation. And we're looking forward to that show as they try to develop some great content while actually doing it in a show format. So that should be a tremendously successful program and things of that nature. I'm going to go a page from, I know Zack has mentioned it as well. I'm going to borrow a page from our producers and everything. Q, Donna, and Michael was here as well. I hope that y'all will all consider joining the IBM family because you have programming on a regular basis, and we would love to have you join us here as part of our producing team and even doing a show. So I'm offering that to you. I hope that I'm not stepping out on a limb by doing that, Kim, because Kim is the big boss. She's shaking her head like she's perfectly fine with it. Because when we have great guests like you, and Q, you were very insightful. Donna, I was loving your energy. You just have tremendous energy, and you got your back. So definitely was enjoying that. The same with
Tuesday at 1 p.m. is taken now.
They are gone. So I'm hoping that they will be joining our family and doing some programming with us as well. Not just appearing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for the invite. I'm honored.
Thank you. And we'll have that conversation. with our producers. And on that note, I'm going to check on out of here. I've got to go find me some food in the house here in Durham or somewhere and get me something in my stomach. And I hope that the rest of you will be doing that as well. Of course, Aiken might be going to bed because it's a little bit late where he's at.
He's the Iron Man.
I'm going to say,
get some sleep, man.
On a later time. So I'm out. Y'all are out as well. And we'll see you next time. I do want you to catch my Monday afternoon show. So I've got the Mark Lee Radio Show. That will be at 2 o'clock. I've got a entertainment lawyer that will be joining us on that show as well as a comedian. So they will be coming on. And then on Wednesday, which is the dinner party with Mark Lee, the online dinner party, we've got some tremendous guests that we're lining up as well for that. So there's some great content that I'll be bringing, as well as some of the other content that will be coming on the programming on this station on a regular basis. Donna, Q, I'll be looking for y'all to have some programming on here as well. So until then, peace.
Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Take
you.
care.